Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the so-called Silicon Valley and Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a short time ago, this crowd, they love their 49ers, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. And we're ready for football as the 49ers get set to do battle with the Baltimore Ravens. Summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. It's a short kick taken out beyond the 20. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. And this is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins going to Baltimore, an absolute perfect fit.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. So, Charles, you talk about this head coach and his future with this franchise. Look, it's been a frustrating year, and I think we saw some of that frustration boil over at his weekly press conference earlier in the week.
Yeah, he's trying to say all the right things, isn't he? But he's heard the rumors. He knows what's going on out there. And right now, he is tired of having to answer the question. See, at every meeting with reporters this week, he kind of said, I've had enough. And I don't blame him. He looks like a guy that may very well be out the door.
The Ravens send their punter out now. He'll kick it away after 3 and out on the opening drive of the game. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Lance, a give now to Sermon. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. And Lance now to throw. Lines up and lets it go for Samuel. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. He's just got to be thinking, I hope that's not a harbinger of things to come. Very first pass of the afternoon picked.
And where do you go from here? Because when you start that way, do you allow that to seep into you and stay with you the rest of the game? Or do you find a way out of it? We're going to find out.
The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big play that time through the air. 35 yards.
There's the arm strength that we saw in college and during the scouting process. And really, it's not just the arm strength there, but the placement as well. To me, that was an excellent combination of arm talent and accuracy.
get there and bring him down. Credit the sack to Fred Warner.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
You definitely would like to have hit on that one because now you've got a 3rd and long showing up, and you just know defense is going to be getting after it. They are pinning their ears back, and they are coming.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Back to throw here. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 33. And the return stops just a few yards shy of midfield. They'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line. 3rd and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him. And what I mean by that is what you said. 3rd and long. Got to push it downfield to try and pick up the first down. Defensive backs live for this situation. And they took advantage of the young man right there.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there. Second down. Well, this defense for the Ravens, terrific last week in the season opening victory.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
The Lance going to throw. Taking a shot for Samuel. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Well, to me, it's pretty simple, and it's fairly obvious, isn't it? He's got to start making better decisions with the ball.
That's now 2 interceptions in the first quarter. After interception number 1, there was a long talk on the sideline. And now he's made another mistake.
Yeah, he's just been kind of laying these passes out there. He's kind of been floating them a little bit. He's got to be more decisive in his reads and definitely more decisive in throwing the ball. Rifle it in there every now and then.
And they take this up near the 30 before he's taken down. That's his longest run of the first quarter. And, Charles, we talked before the game about them needing to establish the run game. They'll be looking for more of that.
And they got to the perimeter. So that tells me that that's part of the game plan of what they want to get done today. So they'll have some complementary runs where he'll run it to the inside. But it appears that when they want the big yardage, they think they can get to the outside and make it happen. Well, I can certainly tell my age, partner, because when I was a kid, running backs like J.K. Dobbins with over 2,000 yards in their final season in college, they went early in the draft. Instead, he somehow lasted until the second round. But how great is it to get a guy with that ability who can run it inside, run to the perimeter, and catch the football out of the backfield? To be able to get him in the second round, that's what I call a steal.
Well, this crowd does not like that call.
Understandable reaction from them. That's their team that the penalty's going against. But you and I both know they're going to take care of the quarterback.
We're scoreless after 1. Raven football here as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. A shotgun snap and a give to Dobbins. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. So the completion good for just 3. And that'll bring up a third down.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Man open left side is Brown. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. A nice throw right there. And, Charles, this is game number 2 in the NFL for this young rookie. His guys getting the victory last week, and he played pretty well by most accounts. Curious, what did you see?
I saw something similar to what you described, Brandon, because I saw a guy who looked the part, a guy who was in command, not just with the touchdown.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. J.K. Dobbins, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game.
Ravens 7, 49ers nothing. Justin Tucker to kick off for Baltimore.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Taken in at the 3. And deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Brings up 2nd and 8.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone. Hey, check Mike 6, Mike 6. Oh, you got D.
Here's Lance. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now Lance. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
Here's Michael Pilardi now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Now Brown. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
Second and 10. He'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. You know, if following up on this head coach and the pressure that he is under, CD, I want to switch it to you because you've been on winning teams, but I know you've been in similar situations too where things just are not going well. How do you approach that as a player?
It's a tough approach, Brandon, because you actually have to do the opposite of what you would think. You know, in your mind, you're thinking, I redouble my efforts, I go harder. In a sense, you have to back off a little bit. You have to do a little bit less. Do what you're supposed to do, but don't take on the pressures of doing more and trying to do your teammates' jobs as well. If you do that, that's really going to lead you to more issues.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. They'll wind up losing a full 10 yards on the play, and it'll make this a 2nd and long. On play action, they'll throw. He'll buy some time right. And this is caught. It's Brown. Touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens will extend their lead. Now Tucker to add the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0.
Makes the score Ravens 14, 49ers 0.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
At their own 13-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. Here's Lance to throw it. Getting this out to the flat, Mostert. And they'll get him down here at the 23. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll be 2nd and about a yard. 2 minutes to play, 1st half. It's 14-0. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. On 2nd down, Mostert. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Lance. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. That was just one of those interceptions from our perspective here. We got a good view at the 50-yard line mid-level that quarterback and receiver were not on the same page.
Just by his reaction, I'm talking about the quarterback, he expected something different from his receiver. Whether he expected him to break in, out, deeper, shorter, they'll determine that on the sideline. But bottom line, you could see that he thought he'd be in a different spot, except the defender was not his intended target.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. He'll swing this out to Dobbins. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Stopped short of the 25. The second effort couldn't free him. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draw.
And in for the Ravens touchdown. Rashad Bateman, 27 yards as the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker with the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Fielded just outside the goal line. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they'll take over with just 18 ticks remaining. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Once again, they'll keep it on the ground. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. A final shot before half for Lance. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Ravens out in front. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
Both these teams, no doubt, making their final halftime adjustments as we speak. And for the call of the second half, we get it back out to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The 49ers going to have the football and trailing on the scoreboard as we get back underway on EA Sports. Fielded just outside the goal line. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And this is going to be brought back for a Baltimore touchdown. But that's got to be so disappointing for a defense. You force the fumble, think you got a chance at a turnover, and instead, not only do you give up the football, you also give up a touchdown as well.
Yeah, you just think to yourself, you've done all the hard work, right? You forced the fumble, but when they didn't come up with it, I think they relaxed a little bit or maybe lost their focus as well, and it ended up turning out to be a touchdown against them.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Taken in at the 3. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Kyzir White. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception and as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Dre Greenlaw in there on the tackle. Here's 2nd and 9. They'll go again with Dobbins. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. This one caught by his tight end, Andrews. And he's going to be brought down. He needed to get to the 20, but he's a yard or 2 short. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down. Here's Justin Tucker now for the Raven field goal try. On the left hash mark, this a 38-yard attempt. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So tack on 3 more, though it's just a rare drive where they did not find the end zone.
Yeah, you're right about that, partner. But at this point, I don't think you're too concerned about that. You just want to possess the football for a while and drain the clock. If you can get 3 out of it, that's great, too.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
Let's go. A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side, the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
This is Sermon. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Watch the slip. 25, check 25.
Sermon now on 1st and 10. And he'll work this forward for about 3. It's 2nd down.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
Lance a handoff here to Mostert. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
It's now 3rd and 9.
Check pink. Smith red. Go pink.
Once again, it's Mostert. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Lance to throw for it on 4th down. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off near the 42. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Mike's 5-4, Mike's 5-4, Mike's 5-4.
Another run here with Dobbins.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line that hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
49ers have an extra defensive back on the field. A nickel set for 3rd down. Now a handoff for Dobbins. And to the 49-yard line, but no further. And obviously he is well short of the first. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. The Ravens send their punter out now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. Taking it about the 16. He's going to be out of bounds on what's going to wind up being the final play of quarter number 3. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Working with a 2nd and 3. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Woods. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he is finally brought down at the Ravens' 31-yard line. 45 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries. Got to give a nod of appreciation to some of those guys up front over on that left side. Several key blocks sprung him.
No appreciation for the guys from the backside that didn't allow any leakage, anybody could run him down from the backside.
They're at the kids' table.
Okay, so front side guys good,
yep.
Backside guys, that's what you're supposed to do?
I've had better.
Okay, either way, worked out quite well, didn't it? A nice sizable gain.
They run on first down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's 2nd down now.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. And now they'll throw with Lance. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. And they'll go for it. Lance. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens are going to have it here just past the 25. The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
Well, it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing the Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now Dobbins again on second down. A little juke. They find some open field here. There he goes, right side. Powering his way forward. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. The CD, I mean, there are touchdown runs, and then there are touchdown runs, and that one certainly fell into the latter category, and that deserves a couple exclamation points.
And the thing that stood out to me was his ability to continue through the initial contact. How many times do we see runners get slowed up and not get what they can on a run because of that first contact? But he kept the compass pointing in the right direction, kept the legs churning, and turned this into a huge play.
And he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And shedding through the tackle. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here, up to the 34.
There's so many definitions of a complete back. I think most people think a guy who can block, a guy who can catch, and a guy who can run. But how about when you put it all together as a runner and you can fake people out, you can be shifty, and also run with some power and break tackles, as we just saw on that pickup.
And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to convert, albeit not by much, on 3rd and a yard. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. From the 38, Lance. He'll swing this out to Mostert. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They can go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
Running left is Sermon. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Sermon. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? Throwing now is Lance. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Extra point splits the uprights as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. And And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. Now they're down big here in the fourth. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Now it's 2nd and 9. That one looks like he'll throw here. Able to shake him off. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. They'll get 19 out of this, but it will still bring up a 4th down. And now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. Lance looking to throw on 3rd and 2. This one caught by Kittle. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. One final try now for Lance. And this is dropped in incomplete. Well, there's a metaphor for how this one has gone as time has run out on this ball game. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defense